makadi mhuri yezimbabwe kusangana zvekare pano patv yenyu pachivhitivhiti patinenge tichikupai malatest updates nenyaya dzinenge dzichiitika munyika yezimbabwe. Ndaya ndakakubatirai kapisi kandinako panapa kane zvakari kutaura zviri kunzi Zimbabwe is ruling ZANU-PF has dismissed claims that the push to extend President Mnangagwa's term to 2030 is a covert strategy to block Vice President Constantino Chiwenga from succeeding him. Party spokesperson and former ambassador to China, Christopher Mutsvangwa, said Chiwenga is not automatically entitled to take over leadership and must contest election like any other candidate. It is not that we do not want him. He can declare his candidacy. There is no provision of the Zimbabwe constitution that the vice president is the automatically leader of the country afterwards, Mutsvangwa told SABC News. This is not a purpose. This is a democratic country and people go to elections. Ndofunga nyaya yemakainzwa kuti 2030 iri kunzi kutry kuda kuvharidzira vice president Constantino Chiwenga kuti vapinde pachigaro, ndo matauriro airi kuitwa na Christopher Mutsvangwa. But zvisinei pane zviri kutaura kuti Emerson Mnangagwa pamaplans ese ake aari kuita akangotraya kukanganisa bumbiro rakagara rakarongwa pakubatana kwakaita ZANU-PF neZimbabwe Defense Forces kubva muhondo kusvika patiri nhasi. Zviri kunzi panogona kuitika zvinhu zvinotyisa kana kuti zvinhu zvinosiririsa, ndo matauriro azviri kuita. Saka iyi nyaya yekunzi kubhulokwa kwaChiwenga inyaya ine munhu pasi. Apa ndo pazvazobuda pachena manje kuti nyaya yekubhuloka Chiwenga kuti atore chigaro inyaya ine munhu pasi. Anatagure vese ava vari kunzi havana basa. Zviri kunzi chero vakaita zvavari kuita vachionekwa vane ushamwari hwavanenge vachiita nemauto zviri kunzi chero vakada kutaura nemauto haasi kuramba, but zvichaitika ndo zvikuru. Regai munzwe zviri kutaurwa.
Also in light of his academic training,
That's a very good idea. But
this guy is a trained lawyer, right? So based on his analysis, he's saying the constitution of Zimbabwe is not worth the paper that it is written on. Because essentially all it is just a piece of paper.
It's
not
a very
worth
good surprise. It's
what
a very
it
good
is
surprise.
written.
I can't tell you because it's a surprise. It won't be a surprise.
The values, the rights, and the aspirations which it is supposed to articulate are not being upheld by the people who are supposed to uphold that constitution. That is the context in which he makes that statement. For a person to try and say that a constitution does exist but fail to accept the reality on the ground that those rights, values, and aspirations of the Zimbabwean people as they are articulated in the constitution is just mere lip service, is to be deliberately disingenuous.
It's okay.
We don't have a constitution. Reality on the ground.
I'm keeping him.
ZANU-PF is the governing party of Zimbabwe, which is supposed to give expression to the constitution, has run roughshod over all the rights that are supposed to be articulated and given expression in that constitution. A constitution is supposed to be a living document. That is to say, when the constitution is written, whatever it expresses only finds expression through the people who give it the expression. I'll give you a perfect example. The president of Zimbabwe is supposed to defend the constitution. That is one of his foremost mandates. The president of the country is supposed to defend the constitution of the country. What do we see playing out currently in our country? It's a situation whereby the president has got total disregard for the constitution, such that he's willing to go to the extent of trying to amend a very difficult term in the constitution to suit his own ends. So when Chamisa says we don't have a constitution, he is talking that it is there theoretically, but in operation, it is non-existent. That is why he goes on to elaborate to say it is torn up, it's tattered, it's in pieces. Yeah. So what is then articulated by saying that people need to defend the country of Zimbabwe is to say that we need to go back to the grassroots level and reassess ourselves as Zimbabweans to say, when the liberation war heroes fought for what they were fighting for, there was no right articulated in the constitution of Rhodesia that gave them expression for them to protest, that gave them the right to protest and anything. But there was something within them, within their hearts, an aspiration towards freedom, achievement of self-worth, dignity, the right to self-determination, to not to have any ceilings placed upon your economic development merely on the basis of your racial, of your skin color or your race. Yeah, that is what he means by saying you need to defend the country, because a constitution is a product of people. It is supposed to articulate the values, aspirations of a people. It is something which comes about as a result of the articulation of people's goals, wishes, aspirations against the backdrop of the historical contexts within which they are living in. So right now, that constitution there, it ain't worth spit. You can take it and use it as a piece of toilet paper, because everything it talks about there is non-existent. There is no constitution. There is absolutely no constitution. It is we are supposed to be called the Republic of Zimbabwe. In the original 2005 constitution, in an attempt to devolve powers from central government and give regions more autonomy, there was the establishment of regional authorities, which would operate with a relative amount of autonomy from central government. What did they do? They now went and placed all the governors of the provinces under the Ministry of Local Government, under Chombo, which is the situation which operates currently today. Even as you know, Harare province, the Harare municipality, in an attempt to subvert the autonomy with which the Harare City Council is supposed to operate, they placed the Harare City Council under the Ministry of Local Government, because what they were saying was they want to take control of the finances, because if the Harare City Council is able to collect rates and levies from the residents of Harare, that would strengthen the opposition, the opposition stronghold within the city, and it will also give them leeway for them to gain traction as a result of the money that they would have gotten, which will give them the economic leverage to put their policies into practice. So there's no constitution. That piece of paper that you are calling a constitution, you use it as a toilet paper, because the president does not care about the constitution. The Speaker of Parliament, when he subverted the will of the masses, the democratic, the right of a Zimbabwean to have their votes given expression to select their member of parliament, when the Speaker of Parliament, through their subversion tactics of having Chabangu masquerading as the leader of the opposition party, when they gave expression to Chabangu's shenanigans, and they recalled democratically elected members of parliament, he ran roughshod over the constitution. So how can a person come here and tell us that there's a constitution? The Speaker of Parliament does not respect the constitution. The president does not respect the constitution. The policemen do not respect the constitution. The judges, the constitutional court itself, in the electoral case in 2018, 19, and 20, did not respect the constitution. So how can someone come and tell us that there's a constitution? Thank you very much.
Interesting. Thank you there, Mega Digital. Much appreciated. Let me just do a health check with the host. Uncle G. Muri kuteerera here zviri kutaurwa panapa?
Ndiri kuteerera. Ndachambodhirowa mutemo wezvibhagera. Ndinoona kuti vamwe vanhu vari kurwa apa vatozonyatosangana mufiridhi, kunyatsoona achiruwana zvimbokoma kwete zvokutamba.
Panombopisa.
Haiwa, interesting conversations.
Very.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And unyatsoona kuti vanhu vari kufunga chaizvo zvakadzama netopic yedu iyi. Yeah, it's quite important that we get folks to, but yeah, there's still a lot. Kungoti zvedu, when we are discussing some of these things, it is a pity that we are. I don't know whether it is a pity or. I mean, it is what it is anyway. That we end up, interrogating statements that would have been said, and these statements we don't get, to interrogate the one that would have said, the statement, because they are the only one that can give us an accurate position of what they meant when they did put out that statement. But I'm liking that folks are going to the extreme, to the length and breadth of trying to look at this statement and see kuti understanding yavo yakamira sei, which is quite important anyway. And that is what we are doing, and those are trungoita. But yeah, kudos to folks who are speaking.
Absolutely. And sometimes you just do wonder, could, if this same statement has been said by someone else, would the conversation have been different? Is it because of who said it as well?
Absolutely.
So it all comes into it. But anyway, the people who haven't spoken, Tina Nzou, we've got Daniel, and we also have Zimbabwe. Sorry? We have Zimbabwe. Those haven't spoken, then yeah, we'll circle back to the guys that have spoken.
Right. Yeah. So now we are approaching the hour of 11, 3 minutes to 11. So I'll try and stretch it until midnight, but we'll not go beyond midnight, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get folks speaking. Those that are eager to speak as well, please make sure Goodism Aida say and my request, and those that want a second bite will give you the opportunity. So Nzo.
Yes, ndiripo akoma.
Muripo irapo zviri sei?
Ndiri right akoma, ndakateerera hangu time yese iyo vanachara. Muri kunzwa zvakanaka?
Munyatsonzwika nzowe hande nacho.
Yeah, pandiri pane clarity chaiyo. Ndaita make sure nas. Anyway,
Brilliant.
no, that's good. You know, I was listening to a lot of talk, tichitaura vanhu, but there are key factors that we tend to forget, sevanhu, you know, that were indoctrinated matiri tiri kuZimbabwe or tiri muZimbabwe. Zvakatangira kubva pa-education system whereby, you know, you spend 13 years learning junk, tichidzidziswa zvina nebasa rese, and then we are told we are 90% literacy, right? We are able to read and write, right? But the main key point is, are you able to reason as a person? Whereby my exams edu katasabva grade 1 paibatwa shamu nechitanda, and the emphasis was on a rote learning and exam performance, whereby you're being told pasa ndokuti zvinhu zvako zviite. And yet people tend to forget that we were never taught critical thinking, innovation, ne-debate culture. So ndoda kutaura panyaya ye-critical thinking, innovation ne-debate culture, ndo patinorasika ipapo kunyanya. So you tend to find kuti kana pane munhu ari kudiaspora akaniterera, kwese kwaanoshanda kuna anonzi ma-KPIs, right? Kana une mwana, you tend to find kuti ukaudza mwana kuti ndoda kupa apple nhasi, they can ask you why muri kuda kunipa apple, nhasi ndoda orange, right? It's because those kids are being groomed to reason, to have critical thinking, to think, to understand. And at the same time, kana pane, I know a lot of people that are listening now kuZimbabwe hakuna munhu akazvinzira izvino. Ana mudhara vekupiwa mutana wiki vanonzi ana mudhara ani verepukesa vakarara izvino. But ukatarisa mwana, munhu wese ane mwana kana kuti akauya kudiaspora akaita mwana, that very same child anotomubvunza kuti why muri kundiitisa zvakadai, why muri kudai, why muri kudai, i-critical thinking iyoyo. So this is what is lacking among us, this crop yatinayo at this point in time. Because we end up debating about nonsense, we end up debating, trying to talk points about nonsense, things that do not help us. But at the end of the day, mukada kutarisisa, it's not kuti zanu ine vanhu vano.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.